Masks. They were an important element in the game The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, hence the name, right? Each one would have its own special ability and you could collect various masks throughout the entire game. Collecting all of them would give you the ultimate reward in the Fierce Deity Mask. But each mask was definitely not created equal, so today we're going to be ranking every mask from Majora's Mask. Hey, what's going on guys? It's Ryan here from Game Essays. This channel is all about covering some of my favorite game series, including The Legend of Zelda and Pokemon. So if you enjoy things such as Zelda rankings and reviews, I'd appreciate it if you could show some support by both liking this video and subscribing to the channel. We're more than halfway to the 1,000 subscriber benchmark, and at 1,000 subscribers I will be learning to play the Ocarina, and I'm going to play some Zelda songs, and I think it's going to be a ton of fun. Getting into today's video, we are ranking all the masks from Majora's Mask, and the criteria in which we are ranking them is their aesthetic, so if they look cool, as well as the ability that the mask possesses. So kind of taking both into account, because obviously there's some much more important masks, so we want to give a little bit more fairness to the lesser important masks, so if they look cool, then they can get a little bit of credit. Anyway, let's just get into a banger right off the bat and say the Zoro Mask is S tier. Now, I'm talking about the N64 version. This is probably the only mask that's going to be affected by this, at least to such a degree. Actually, the Deku mask maybe a little bit too. I'm just going to go off the N64 version. I have not played the 3DS version. I do plan to. As many know on this channel, I'm doing a review of every single Zelda, and I just came out with one on the original Legend of Zelda, but I have not gotten to Majora's Mask yet, but I'm thinking I will be doing the 3DS version for that review, and if there's a lot of clamoring, maybe I'll have to do both as their own individual games because there might be enough differences. Nevertheless, with the Zoro Mask, in the N64 version, the swimming is so much fun. There's not many games, especially 3D games, where you look forward to sections where you're swimming, but it is so much fun with the Zoro Mask. You can also sink to the bottom. Basically, he have iron boots built in. He's got these like arm boomerang things he could throw. You've got your magic aura. There's just a lot going for the Zoro Mask, and for that, it has to be an S tier. Now let's jump to something a little bit different. We got the Bremen Mask, I believe is what it's called, but I'm going to double check. Yes, the Bremen Mask. And I think this is like a solid B tier. Now the mask itself, I think it looks pretty cool, so there's some points there for sure. But the point of the Bremen Mask is that you can have animals follow you. So you can play this in Clock Town and the little dog will follow you around. But then of course its main function is to go to Romani Ranch and you have all the little chicks follow you and then they turn into chickens and then you get a reward for it. So its actual purpose in the game, not too important, which I think brings it down to a B, but again, I wouldn't have it lower because it kind of looks cool too. The Keaton Mask, let's just throw it in here. Here's one of the masks that was in Ocarina of Time, but obviously none of them really had functionality until the, Majora's Mask. But I think this also gets a B. I think it looks cool, but again, you use it, I think you just use it for the Keaton quizzes, which once you go through one of them, you answer the 5 questions, you get a piece of heart, and that's pretty much all there is to it. You get it during the Anju and Cafe quest, because, Cafe is wearing it. Yeah, it looks cool again, but it's used very minimally. Now, what is the Mask of Sense? This one is just a little bit weird. I would probably say it's a C tier. I'm curious if I'm gonna have any like D tier masks here. Maybe people would say the Mask of Sense should be a D tier, but I'm gonna leave it at C tier because it is interesting. It's very weird how like Link moves around when he's wearing this mask. Looks a little creepy. And its functionality is basically to find mushrooms. So it's pretty It's not as useful because you find the mushrooms so you can have blue potions. So it's probably one of like the least important masks in the entire game. I do have a little guide here of all the masks in case I forget specifics. But yeah, it's probably on, yeah, like I said, the more useless side of the masks. But yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, you see, like they put some detail into how Link acts when he's like sniffing around with the mask. So for the little details and things like that, I'll give it a C tier. Let's jump to the Deku Mask. I think Deku Mask is A tier in my opinion. You start out as a Deku and it kind of feels bad, but you start to appreciate a lot of things with the Deku. Like you can move fast when you're spinning around, you can attack by blowing bubbles, and you can hop on water. That's obviously one of the elements in the 3DS version I've heard that gets a little messed up, but in the N64 version it works great, feels great. Deku Mask, definitely positive. I don't think it's as fun as the other major transformation masks, but still it's so useful. You can burrow into the flowers and then glide across with your little like helicopter flower thing. So Deku Mask, definitely a key element to the game and still fun to use, surprisingly. Like I said, it feels bad at the beginning of the game when you're stuck as a Deku, but you really warm up to it as you go through the game. The Bomb Mask. The Bomb Mask, I would say I'm going to put it at an A tier. Maybe people would disagree. I know you can shield so you don't take damage, but basically Bomb Mask, it's a free bomb that just your face explodes. Yeah, maybe, you know what? I'd just go to a B tier. It's not like it's that hard to get bombs, but it's nice for those situations where maybe you did run out of a bomb, right? I'm moving it down because it's not in the same league as the Deku Mask. Let's be honest here. Like I said, you can shield so that you don't take any damage, and it has kind of a long cooldown time between each use. But it's a nice to get in the situation. It's definitely another thing that would bring it down is just it doesn't look that great, but you know, whatever. All Night Mask, I would say is a C tier. Let me just confirm that it is indeed called yes, it is called the All Night Mask. Just making sure. Link definitely looks creepy, but I'm bringing this down. It's a pain in the butt to get because you have to spend, I think, 500 rupees, and you can only get it on the final night at 10 p.m. And again, you use it to just listen to grandma's stories, and then you get your heart piece. So it's one of those just kind of one heart piece uses, and then you're kind of done with it. Yeah, I just don't like the look of it as much. And again, the actual ability for it is pretty uninteresting. Moving on, we've got the Postman's Hat. I think the Postman's Hat goes again down to C tier just because its use is not super great. So wearing the Postman Hat allows you to get rupees out of post boxes. The first time the post box in East Clocktown near the exit is checked, Link receives a piece of heart. So you get it as part of the Anjun Cafe quest, but again, it's so one note. You get your rupees, you get that one piece of heart, and there's no point to it anymore. The Great Fairy Mask, I think it has to be S tier. Now, you look a little weird in it, but it is so helpful, and I don't know what I would do without this mask. Because the Great Fairy Mask will help you get the stray fairies throughout the dungeons. Its hair will kind of glow if there's a stray fairy in the dungeon. And of course, the abilities that you get for the stray fairies, it's pretty much worth it to do it in every single dungeon. So you do really rely on this mask a lot. So like I said, the hair of the Great Fairy will glow if there's a fairy in the room, and not only that, if the fairy is not trapped in a bubble or something like that, the fairy will, when you're close enough, just come to you, which is great. So it's just a super, super useful mask that you find yourself using quite frequently in every dungeon. So for that, I think I just have to give it an S tier. They could have just had it be it will let you know if there's a fairy in the room, but the fact that they also get lured to you, makes it just, it puts it over the top for me. The Cafe Mask is, I just say the Cafe Mask is D tier. I don't know, it's just, you look weird in it. I don't understand. You wear this mask to ask people about Cafe as part of the Anjun Cafe quest. But it's so weird. It's like, couldn't Link just find a picture or something? Doesn't the, who is it? It's Madame Aroma that you get it from, according to this document. I forget some of the names, so forgive me there. Yeah, it's just like a weird way to ask people about someone, right? You wear their face. It's a little creepy. Anyway, it's not like I dislike Cafe the character, just the mask I think is a little stupid. And then, speaking of Cafe, let's take a look at the couple's mask. So the couple's mask you get at obviously the end of the Anjun Cafe quest. But then all you do is you wear it to the mayor's office during the whole argument, and then you get a piece of heart. So again, I'm gonna put the marriage mask at a D tier. Now people, I like the Anjun Cafe quest. So let me just say that right now. I like the quest. The reward, it's a little lame, right? First of all, the marriage mask just looks weird. I know there's some like meaning behind it, but my opinion, not a great mask. And it's just lame. You just get a piece of heart, and that's all there is to it. So again, one note mask, doesn't look that great in my opinion. I just gotta put it in the D tier. Let's just do it, man. Bunny hood, easiest S tier of my life. I love the bunny hood. It is my favorite mask in the game, and that even beyond the transformation masks. That's how much I love the bunny hood. It's going S prime here. Bunny hood, it's the first one I go for. As soon as I'm able to go out into the world, you wait until you just fast forward to day 3, get into Romani's ranch. Of course, you do have to get this little Bremen mask down here, and then you just go right for that bunny hood. You make all the chicks become chickens, and you get the bunny hood. And then, of course, I have mentioned it, but the bunny hood makes you run faster. So it's pretty much always in my inventory, always in my C buttons. It can actually help you get a little bit further, like across a gap too. So sometimes you can make a lot of jumps you may not otherwise be able to make with the bunny hood. But yeah, it's so good. It's so much fun. I wish every Zelda game had a bunny hood. I'd love to see it make a comeback in some way, in some form. But yes, absolute S tier for sure. Okay, now we can go to what is this called? The cow mask. It is called Romanos Mask. Romanos Mask, I'd probably give this I would probably give it like a high B tier. So it lets you get into the milk bar, which is good because you can get the special milk or whatever, the Chateau Romani, I'm remembering the name now, which will give you unlimited magic for the 3-day cycle, which can be very good, particularly once you come around to like the Stone Tower Temple, where you're going to be using light arrows and as well as the Giant's Mask. So to have the unlimited magic can be very, very useful. You'd also probably want it against, going into the moon or whatever as well. So it has its nice uses. It looks funny. It's a cow. I like it. Goron Mask. Let's do the final major transformation mask. This also has to be S tier. Again, it's another great way of moving around when you can roll. Yes, sometimes like Snowhead Dungeon can be a little bit annoying because you can fall all the way back down. It's a very vertical dungeon, but the actual Goron form itself is a lot of fun. You can punch things to break them. It's fun to play as a Goron, and it's fun to roll around. The Goron race, maybe not as fun, but the actual form itself is great. Okay, let's do, what is this? The Circus Leader's Mask, or the Troop Leader's Mask. This basically just helps you get the Gorman brothers off your tail when you are with Crimea in the wagon trying to protect the milk as it makes its way to Clocktown. So it's really only useful, like, I probably put this at like a C tier, maybe even a D tier. I kind of want to put it at a D tier because I'm pretty sure the only way you can get this is after you've already completed it once. So you never really get the benefit of it when you would actually want it the first time around. But let's see, you have to, it's something with, I think you need the cow mask. I forgot the name again. Let me look. You need Romanos Mask before you can get the Goron Mask, right? Which means you have to go through the whole wagon thing, but I guess it's good upon repeat. But nevertheless, like I said, it's not as great because you've already done it before you can even get the benefit of what the mask actually does. So, there you go. What is this one called? The Super Creepy Mask, which is the Camaro Mask. Camaro Mask, I'm gonna give a B. It's spooky, it's creepy, but there's something about it that I like. Link does this weird dance when he's using it. I don't know what it is. There's something weird about it, but I kind of like it. And again, all it is for a heart piece, but Link does a funny dance, and you can make him do that funny dance whenever you want. So, for whatever reason, it's a B tier for me. Don't ask me why, but it's a B tier. Mask of Truth. What is the Mask of Truth? I like never use this mask in the game, but you can read minds of animals, so it's really good for like the dog racetrack, and then you can read the gossip stones. It's a little bit disappointing, but yeah, I'd say it's like a C tier. It's just it's one of those on the disappointing side. The Gibdo Mask. Ooh. The Gibdo Mask, I am going to give a B as well. Probably like a low end B. It definitely has its nice purposes to it because it makes ReDeads non-hostile. They do their like funny dances and stuff. You obviously need it as well for the Gibdos in the well, which is like the worst sequence in the entire game because looking up, you just need to use a guide or you're just literally wasting your time. There's no point to it otherwise. But because of it kind of looks cool and the way you get it is cool. When you play the Song of Healing for the dude in the house in Icona, I gotta give some bonus points there, I guess. And yeah, it looks cool to wear, and it does have functionality in making the ReDeads non-hostile, and they're doing their funny dances, which is amusing, right? Let's go with the Stone Mask. Stone Mask goes up in the A tier. It has some very nice uses because you can be stealthy with it, which is very great for the Pirate Fortress in particular. I'm trying to remember if there's any other sections where it can be great. Oh, I guess you can use it in the Deku Palace as well, although by the time you get it, you may not really need to go to the Deku Palace, but, you know, maybe you do to get, like, the beans or something like that. So, it's definitely useful. Like I said, it's really clutch in the Pirate Fortress, but just in general, it is, like, it's fun to use. Okay, Giant's Mask. Giant's Mask, I think, also gets an A because it's really cool. You only get to use it once, but when you get to use it, it's really fun. It's a very cool concept. I know they took it even further in the 3DS version, And again, it's a situation where it's nice to have the unlimited magic for it. So Giant's Mask, really cool. I wish you could use it. I wish there was like one more place you could use it. And that would like, if they had like a couple places you could use it, even if they were just like designated like areas that were within like a boundary where you could use this. If you could use it like 3 times in the game, it would probably be an S tier for me. But because it's really only used in the Twin Mold fight in Stone Tower Temple, but still fun, it gets an A. Okay, let's go to the Captain's Hat. So this will allow you to speak to the warriors of Icona, such as the Stall Children, and then wearing it with ReDeads causes them to, oh, that's the one that causes them to dance. Then wait, what was I was wrong about the Gibdo one. I was totally wrong about Gibdo. Let me correct myself. I got 2 masks mixed up. So Gibdo, get straight down to D tier. You're just used for the bottom of the well. Yeah, which is a crappy sequence. Captain's Hat will definitely get a B tier because it makes the ReDeads non-hostile. I'm glad I read that. Make ReDeads non-hostile, and it also, I think this is where you can get them to dig, can it? Yeah, you can command the warriors of the Stall Children in the graveyard. You can get them to dig for you, which is great. Because then you can do whatever. There's like, what's his name? You got Dompe's mission and everything there. And there's some stuff, below the graveyard. So it's got a lot of good uses. So I like it. The Frog Mask, the Don Gyro's Mask, I have to give a C tier. I kind of like the whole frog thing. This is just one. I'm sure there's a lot of people, maybe they like this more because they've like 100% in Majora's Mask. I usually get all the masks in Majora's Mask, but I never have 100% of the game. And this is one of the reasons I don't, is because I don't feel like going back to all the dungeons and stuff just to get all the frogs, because it's annoying. And I don't feel like backtracking and doing all that. The Garrosh Mask is how you get into Icona, but you can also, yeah, lets you hook shot basically to get into Icona, but then it also in certain areas will cause Garrosh to appear, and then this also causes ReDeads to be non-hostile. So I think this is pretty solid. I would say it is a nice B tier. Finally, we get to the Fierce Deity Mask. The mask you only get after collecting all the masks and then giving them all away to the Children in the Moon. And it is only usable in boss fights, which you can replay boss fights in Majora's Mask, which is nice. Most people use it once, and that's against Majora, like I did the first time I played the game. And it is a ton of fun. So I will put the Fierce Deity Mask as S tier for sure. If I were to rank them, I would probably put the Goron Mask ahead of it, but I'd put Fierce Deity, I'd probably put it at the low end of S tier, only because you beat the game, like you destroy Majora with it. It's so much fun, but these other masks are so much more useful for you along your journey. And yeah, so that's how I feel. Definite S tier for Fierce Deity. I love the idea. I wish there were more rewards like the Fierce Deity Mask in Zelda games that are just basically broken good, but it's like the end of the game anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, ton of fun. Anyway, that is all the masks for Majora's Mask. Make sure to let me know. Whoa, let me stop there. Make sure you guys let me know how you would rank the masks. What's your S tier for the masks in Majora's Mask? And I've said the mask a lot of times, so it's probably time to wrap this up. So make sure to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe for more content, and I will see you guys next time.